Here we go again with the Thor crap. It's Harmless Phosphorescence! Hello, everybody! Lock up your sons and daughters around this twisted piece of fruitcake. It's your host, Thoreau Smiley. And who's joining me this week?
Hey, I'm Josh Cece, and I suffer from vertigo, and I have a lawyer.
I'm Brian Lesh, and like the Bufulu, I have musical instruments but no tools. Eventually, I guess I'll die.
I'm Alaric Weber, and I'm textbook mythical allegory.
And this is Harmless Phosphorescence.
That's what the AL stands for.
Allegory Weber. This is the podcast where we watch every theatrically released full-length live-action superhero movie ever made. We gather some research into the production and the source material, and we tell you all about it. This show is brought to you, good folks, by our patrons. You can be a patron too. Head over to patreon.com/harmlessentertainment. We got lots of bonus stuff over there. For $5 a month, you get these things early. You get a bunch of like stuff we've recorded in the past, some music episodes, some Star Wars episodes, some Christmas shows. For $1 a month, you get to hear our monthly movie. That's just $1 a month you need, and you get one extra movie podcast per month. This month in October, we're going to be doing Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors. So stay tuned for that. That'll be coming up for your Spooktober. Spectacular. Now, this week on Harmless Phosphorescence, we are watching Son of the Mask.
It's been sleeping soundly for over a decade. Now, this unforgettable legend that was created by the gods is returning to once again change the face of mischief.
Find that mask!
New Line Cinema presents
Who's a happy baby?
the next generation of mischief.
Mommy.
You said mama. Can you say dad?
Mother.
How are you and Albie doing?
Our son is bouncing off the walls.
From the director of Cats and Dogs.
I am Loki, god of mischief.
Give me my mask!
I think my dog ate it.
This February.
What's happening?
One mask fits all. Jamie Kennedy.
Honey, I think it's time we trade up.
Alan Cumming.
This is a fake.
Yes, but it's a good fake. Ow.
And introducing Otis as Otis the dog.
Buckle up, baby!
Son of the Mask.
Son of a bitch.
You dumb son of a man.
Son of a Mask. This was released February 18th, 2005, a running time of 94 minutes. It cost $100 million. And
Oh my God, yes it did.
yeah, it did. They thought this was going to be a huge hit.
Yeah, you look around and it's like, why didn't they just staple wads of money to the set
Yeah.
walls?
Oh, God.
You know,
Oh,
so expensive. As bad
And
as
then
a
burn it.
Schumacher, and then burn it. As
Yeah.
bad as a Schumacher Batman. Like, so
Oh,
much
God.
shit going on, and if you were to stop and look, it's not interesting.
no, it's awful.
It's just expensive.
Yeah, be under no preconceptions, viewer or listeners. This movie's terrible.
Yeah.
Don't watch it. This is
Don't
one of the
watch
few
it.
that we say just don't even watch it.
Yeah, it was bad. Box office. What do you guys think it made? Any guesses?
$20 million.
Okay.
60?
Ow, 59.9.
Wow.
10 points for Al because we are about to play the box office top 10.
Yeah, you on my end, you glitched for a second and then just came back to them saying amounts of money. I couldn't figure out what we were. I got you. Like, this is how much I'm willing to pay to make this movie.
Yeah. It was how much the movie made. It was 59.9 million. I'll guess 60 million. So right on the money there, Al. We are playing the box office top 10. However, careful listeners might have remembered that last week when we did Constantine, Son of the Mask was in there because they were released the same day. So we already did this top 10. So because we instituted the box office top 10 games somewhere around the year 2000-ish in our shows, we are stepping back in time, and we're going to do the box office top 10 for the first Mask, the week of July 29th, 1994.
Which we did not do, right?
No, because we didn't start we didn't come up with the game by then.
Oh, but we did do the movie, right?
Oh, we did the movie, yeah.
10 whole years.
Yeah.
And this is what they came back with.
Yeah, exactly.
I have so many questions regarding the timeline, but
yeah.
So, no guesses. The Mask was number one. It was one of the biggest hits of the year of 1994. But we're going to do the box office top 10.
Sorry, where was Sun? Just where was Sun?
Oh, Sun was at number 3 in 2005.
Three?
Yeah,
A
opened
week
at number
after.
3.
opened at number 3, and it didn't hit the charts ever again, I'm sure.
It opened at number 3, and the following week it was down to 17, and then just kept falling.
Okay, yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, deserved it. Well deserved. So, wow. So, July 29th, 1994, the original The Mask opened. And, wow. There's only 15 movies on the list at all. They didn't have a full list that week. Only 15 movies were in theaters. I don't know. So, we'll just do all 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them opened that week, including the original Mask. Number 15, gentlemen. Oh, so yeah, listeners, this is the game where I'm going to describe the movie by the boxofficemojo.com description, and the boys try to guess what movie it is.
I just want to say we're doing 15, obviously, because Thoreau is trying to put off
doing the
talking about the Mask.
Son of the Mask.
Son of
yes.
the Mask. Period.
Yeah, we'll try to run through these a little faster than normal. So coming in at number 15, a senior chef lives with his 3 grown daughters. The middle one finds her future plans affected by unexpected events and the life changes of the other household members.
Life change.
Something about a cannibal and his 3 daughters.
Kind of.
Oh, Krippendorf's trap?
No.
I missed the description.
Oh, did you? Here, I'll do it again. A senior chef lives with his 3 grown daughters. The middle one finds her future plans affected by unexpected events and the life changes of the other household members.
I'll see, the description in my head was better. A one-eyed dinosaur takes over a bakery. Yeah, all right.
Any guesses, Al?
No clue.
Eat, drink, man, woman. Those are also the words Donald Trump can remember.
Camera, TV, yeah.
That opened that week at number 15. So 1 point for Al for not guessing. Number 14. Ted, oh my God, this is like 3 paragraphs long. Ted, a stuffy white guy from Illinois working in sales for the Barcelona office of a U.S. corporation, is paid an unexpected visit by his somewhat less stuffy cousin Fred, who is an officer in the U.S. Navy. Over the next few months, both their lives are irrevocably altered by the events which follow Fred's arrival. Events which are the trivial stuff of a comedy of manners at first, but which gradually grow increasingly dramatic.
Wow.
Fred and Ted's mediocre adventure.
Fred and Ted's complicated sibling. Yeah.
That movie summary was written by Tolstoy.
Right. Oh my God. It was I'm trying to see.
It was the blurst of time.
This is number 14 also, right?
Yeah, number 14. It did open this week. It stars nobody. Oh, wait. We got Mira Sorvino in it. Fourth build. No one else you heard of. Yeah, nobody.
Let's see if I can just make up a rom-com name. Can't live without you.
Close.
Or Spain.
Oh, yeah, you get 5 points. It's called Barcelona.
Oh my God.
Barcelona. Yeah.
Number 13. In a parallel world, a working class family are set up for an executive job, but they learn that money can't buy happiness. I left out a few adjectives there so that it didn't give it away.
Oh, the Addams Family?
You're on the right track.
The Flintstones?
Yes, Al gets it. 5,000 points for Al.
Is it the first Flintstones movie?
Yeah, the first one with
Wow.
John Goodman and Rick Moranis.
Yeah, Rick Moranis got punched this week.
Yeah, fuck that dude, right? That
He did
punch-
say that he was doing okay.
Oh, good.
So
Yeah.
that's good. He's in his 60s. That just
Yeah.
makes me feel so old.
67, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I saw the video. Dude just walks by him and slugs him and keeps walking. No
Doesn't
rhyme or
even
reason.
say anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was out of
doesn't
nowhere.
Yell anything.
Did Rick have his mask on? Did the guy even know it was Rick Moranis he was punching?
I don't think he
Great
knew.
question.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. Yeah, even without a mask, I would be surprised.
Judging by
I
the
don't
video,
It's a
I don't think he
chance
even looked
encounter.
at him.
I don't know if you guys saw, but Ryan Reynolds he's like aping for all these companies. He's selling cell phones now, but he had
It's
Rick
a Canadian
Moranis
company. Yeah.
in an ad with him, and it was just the most adorable thing ever. He was like, "We had a budget for an ad, so I just hired Rick Moranis to be in the ad." And he's like, "What am I doing here?" It's so cute.
Aw,
I
Worth
guess
looking up on
one
YouTube.
guy.
Rick Moranis is so just wholesome.
I gotta watch that. All right, coming in at number 12. 1 year after their first adventure, Mitch and his friends discover a treasure map that belonged to their late trail guide. They set out to discover its secrets.
Oh, Curly's Gold.
Yeah, it is. City Slickers 2, The Legend of Curly's Gold, which is also a porno I watched about a blonde.
Oh, that's the one where they get the Rolex back out of the sheep, right?
For Flintstones, I can't remember who answered that, so I give myself 12 points. And for City Slickers 2, Josh gets half of a Snickers bar.
I want to win the home game.
Coming in,
You gave me 5,000 for Flintstones.
did you?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I take it back.
You did. Okay. Fair.
Oh, we're keeping our points in a secure offshore
Yeah, I've been
setup. You can't touch it.
buying Bitcoin with my points.
I'm buying points with my Bitcoin. Coming
The
in,
exchange rate is equal, so
Yeah.
they're both not doing very hot right now.
coming in at number 11. Sick of the neglect he receives from his mom and dad, a young boy leaves home and travels the world in search of new parents.
How do you receive neglect? Gives me a lot of attention to neglect me. Oh, is that yeah? Anyone across the country? Oh, I remember this. I don't remember the name.
It stars
a kid's name.
Elijah Wood.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Frodo.
I mean, Frodo was neglected.
Right. North.
Yeah.
North.
I think this
The
is the
kids-
one I meant. Yeah.
Yeah, it's North. Well, for meaning that, you get 4,000 points
Yes.
for your intentions.
Which were pure.
At number 10, the fate of horses and the people who own and command them are revealed.
The secret of horses.
The fates of horses and the people who own and command them are revealed.
The Cimarron.
Any guesses, anity? It looks like it's a kid's movie. Well, it is a
No,
kid's
I don't
movie
guess.
based on a book.
The Horse Whisperer.
No.
Oh no! What Flicka? Not
No,
Flicka.
no.
Not Black Beauty.
Black Beauty.
Oh.
Black Beauty. 12 points for Josh.
Was this a live action Black Beauty?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think
this
they
is the
all
first
were.
like Disney live action movie that was decent. I think
No.
like Escape from Witch Mountain kind of thing, and like Homework, right? I mean, those are interesting.
This is 1994 though. They had made a few.
Yeah. Yeah. There were the live action 90s Disney movies were all, I don't know, fine, I guess. That was now coming in at number 9. When a family of 4 moves from Baltimore to a farm in rural Virginia, they adopt an abandoned collie. The dog becomes the son's companion and protector, helping him adapt to rural life.
Did Lassie and Black Beauty come out at the same time?
Booyah! Brian gets it. 7 points for Brian.
I'll take him. Hold on, I got to pull up my Bitcoin.
Yeah,
I'll take him to the bank.
Transfer that immediately before I can take it away from you.
Done.
Coming in at number 6. A young police officer must prevent a bomb exploding aboard a city bus by keeping its trajectory above 50 miles per hour.
Yep.
This is Pede, right?
Pede.
I remember this so just succinctly.
Pede was the R. Kelly tape.
Oh, that's right.
A few of us went to see Speed, and I fell asleep during the elevator scene in the beginning.
Oh, God. That was.
So you had no idea? Like,
No. No.
Who was the bad guy in that?
Dennis Hopper.
Dennis Hopper.
I went. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I went to see it with you guys. I remember seeing it with a group.
This, of course,
we had
starred
been
Sandra
up all
Bullock.
night.
Yeah.
Yes. Sandy
Just
B.
Sandra Bullock.
Yeah. Sandy B's big breakthrough.
Ew.
Coming in at number 7. When a boy prays for a chance to have a family, angels are assigned to make it possible.
There's an easier way.
I left out a key sentence in this description.
Angels in the outfield?
Yes,
Yeah.
Brian gets.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, Brian gets 150 points because, damn.
This was the Anaheim Angels, right?
Yeah.
Before they moved to wherever they're at now, which is probably heaven.
Yeah, is it?
Well, down the street from Disney.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Danny Glover was in this movie.
Oh yeah, that's
Joe
right.
Pesci.
Christopher Lloyd, right?
And Christopher Lloyd, he was the angel.
Wow, what a cast for a movie that was not a good movie.
Yeah, it was awful.
Oh my God. Okay, a police officer. Oh, well, this is number 6. A police officer promises to share his lottery ticket with the waitress in lieu of a tip.
Oh,
Starring Bridget Fonda and Nicolas Cage.
Lucky Numbers. That's a different movie.
Tax evasion.
I'm gonna buy an island. The Nick Cage stuff.
Any guesses, Al?
The Waitress.
That's a solid.
It's called
guess.
It Could Happen to You.
Oh, I do remember that movie. Yeah, the waitress.
That
sounds
movie
like a
about gonorrhea.
Won an Oscar or something, though.
Yeah.
All the way.
Yeah. So Nicolas Cage gets 5 points. Coming in at number 5. A prince and his father are targeted by his bitter uncle who wants to ascend the throne himself.
Aladdin.
No.
Lion King.
Yes. The Lion King. Yes.
Yeah. Hamlet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really Hamlet.
Yeah. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That great African folktale.
45. Yeah. 45 points for everybody. Coming in at number 4, a young boy who witnessed the suicide of a mafia lawyer hires an attorney to protect him when the district attorney tries to use him to take down a mob family.
The Pelican Brief?
No, but the client. Yes.
You're right,
Sarandon, Lee Jones, and I can forget who the kid is.
Susan Sarandon Lee Jones.
3 points for Josh.
This is her best movie, right? This is like Susan Sarandon's real.
Well,
thing.
I mean,
Dead Man Walking, she got an Oscar for it.
Yeah.
That's right.
And Thelma and Louise.
And Thelma and Louise.
Oh, yeah.
This is long before she was in the Dune television series.
Oh, God. Number.
Lest we forget a little Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Well, yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Touch it, touch me. I apologize. Number 3.
No need.
She's hot.
Always
has been.
A fearless globe-trotting terrorist battling secret agent has his life turned upside down. when he discovers
he have
his wife might be having an affair with a used car salesman while terrorists smuggle nuclear warheads into the United States.
Not Eraser, but the other one with Arnold. It's starring Arnold and Jamie Lee Curtis, right?
Yeah. Directed by James Cameron. Also has Bill Paxton in it as well.
True Lies.
Yes.
True Lies. Thank you.
I saw that in the theater.
It's got a long sequence on a bridge.
Yeah. That was a good movie. It's also James Cameron's least successful movie since Terminator.
Wow.
I saw that in Arkansas.
Well, I mean, considering the only three other movies he's made since Terminator were Terminator 2, Aliens, Titanic, and Avatar.
Yeah.
Cameron, oh yeah.
Oh wait, he's got some more Avatar movies that are going to come out. We'll see if those are less successful.
Last week he announced Avatar 2 finally finished filming. 10 years!
5 of them. I have a feeling it's going to be like some of the Mans.
10 years since he started filming. It took him 10 years to make that movie. Since he started filming. Coming in at number 2. The presidencies of Kennedy and Johnson, the events of Vietnam, Watergate, and other historical events unfold through the perspective of an Alabama man.
Yeah, Forrest Gump.
Yep. Forrest Gump. 75 points for Brian, 1 for each.
I have stories about all these movies. That's great.
What have you
Yeah. I remember seeing Forrest Gump for the first time. That's great.
Oh, I definitely remember seeing it for the first time.
And of course, go ahead, Josh.
No.
The number 1 movie of the week. Bank clerk Stanley Ipkiss is transformed into a manic superhero when he wears a mysterious mask. That's
not when he takes it off, right?
Well, when he takes it off, he's Stanley Ipkiss
again?
Yeah.
Yeah. That seemed like a very fundamental point to that character. Just checking.
Okay.
Because this guy, people can take off this mask and continue to be crazy.
Well, I mean...
Well, Jamie Kennedy is...
Yeah. At the party, at the Halloween party, when he's up on stage before he starts his musical number, he takes the mask off.
Oh, no. That was not the mask. That was a mask on top of his mask.
Where did he get that mask?
Well, let's say where he got the same place he got the rest of his outfit from magic.
He bends reality.
He is the hero with 1,000 faces. It's very
credit.
deep. This is really, yeah.
So that's it for the box office top 10. Al, we went over the Mask's comic backstory on the original Mask. Have there been any new developments since we recorded that about 6 months ago?
Well, nothing that resembles this movie, so I didn't bother.
Yeah,
right.
I can't blame you. So now we're down to actually talking about this movie, so let's just power through it.
Wait, did Roger Ebert not review it?
Oh, we'll get there. He did, but not on video.
Okay.
So, as far as the movie itself goes, it was directed by Lawrence Guterman. Let's see. His other claims to fame are directing Cats and Dogs, Goosebumps, Escape from Horrorland, assistant director on Ants, and he's currently the showrunner on a show called Out of Jimmy's Head. Oh, no, not currently. That was 2007 to 2008.
Huh.
That's it.
Those first 2 movies were very popular.
Yeah.
Look, I'm surprised he didn't get better gigs. Well, actually, like we said, I think they thought this was a good gig.
Yeah.
With $100 million behind it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they did. But I'm surprised he didn't get invited back for Cats and Dogs 2. The Pussy Galore. Kitty Galore. Yeah. But pussy is also another word for kitty.
I know.
Motherfuckers.
They're like, well, we can't use that because it's for children, but let's turn it around enough that it's subtle, and I bet the kids will get what we're talking about. That 50s James Bond reference.
I know. Right?
They were tapping into a very small yet growing furry population.
Yeah, they were. Well, and 3 is coming out. Cats and Dogs 3 has been. The trailer came out. It exists. Yeah. So it was written by Lance Kazay, who also wrote for the Chevy Chase show, 15 episodes in 1993. Real Monsters.
Oh.
1 episode of Jungle Cubs for the Disney Channel.
I think it was like a live action show where they did like voiceovers, like the cats were talking, but they didn't make their mouths move.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah, you were probably in the age range that you would have been aware of that.
Yeah. Not a thing that I watched, but I think I remember seeing that flipping through the channels.
Son of the Mask is his only movie credit. Since then, he's written for a few other TV shows. Most recently, Seth Moulton for America and Namcar Night Race official music video.
Namcar? Is that a car who went to Vietnam?
I guess.
Like he's never driven the same since. That car saw things. Were you in the shit? Honk, honk.
Fortunate Son is the sound of the horn.
That's Cars 4. Apocalypse Vroom.
I've seen some oil slicks.
This movie stars, and I use that term loosely, Jamie Kennedy. Who is Jamie Kennedy? He got his start. His first film was Dead Poets Society. He was an extra.
Wow.
He starred in VR Troopers, California Dreams. He played a guy. His credit was Hiccup Guy. He was in some episodes of Ellen. He was in Romeo plus Juliet. Romeo plus Juliet equals awesomeness. And
that's not the Baz Luhrmann one, right?
That is the Baz Luhrmann one.
Yeah.
Romeo plus Juliet. His big breakout role was 1996's Scream, which Josh and his lovely wife Andrea will be watching and posting an episode about for our patrons on.
Yeah, I took a double dose of Kennedy for you guys yesterday. Please tune in.
And he's doing much better now. We expect him to be released from Walter Reed any day.
Unlike most Kennedys, I'm doing fine.
Yeah. After Scream, he went to be in Bong Water, Clock Watchers, Perversions of Science, Scream.
Malibu's Most Wanted has some jokes in it.
Malibu's Most Wanted is pretty good.
He clearly spent too much time in the bong water.
Yeah.
Just like a bong water hot tub.
He was actually in a few good movies. Enemy of the State, Bowfinger, Three Kings, Boiler Room.
Oh, yeah, Three Kings. That's right. Dr. what?
Dr. Dolittle 2.
He made a fantastic comedy documentary that not a lot of people know about, but it's called Heckler. And the subject of it is about hecklers and heckling. And he has like, all kinds of, way A-list comics talking about it. But then it's also him talking about it, about the joke he became.
Oh, wow.
In pop culture, about how, he was a rising star. He was supposed to be the plucky comic relief from, which they tried to do many times. But then like how he became almost Nickelback in his. Oh, yeah. His hated. Yeah. So it's an interesting documentary because he examines that. Yeah.
Well,
interesting.
And in large part, thanks to the Jamie Kennedy experiment.
Right.
Which was on for 2 years and 61 episodes. And I believe it was some sort of hovercraft.
Yeah.
I just remember it being on and turning it off if it was on. Yeah.
And watching Punk'd instead.
Yeah, exactly. He was also in Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. I mean, you know who Jamie Kennedy is. Most recently, what's he doing these days? Let's take a look. His most recent movie, he starred as Whitey in Crabs in a Bucket.
Same.
I don't know what that is, and I will not look it up because my mind version of the movie is better than what it ever could actually be.
I assume it's like a jailhouse dramedy.
I assume it's I assume it's a CGI crabs in a bucket for an hour and a half.
Or a story about Whitey bringing diseases to
It's the crustacean version of ants, basically.
Yeah.
I guess.
Or like a crustacean version of 12 Angry Men. But they're in a bucket the whole time instead of a room.
Instead of a room.
Or it's just a shot-by-shot CGI crab version of the Whitey Bulger story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alan Cummings starred as Loki. He has a long filmography. The guy's been around a long time. He got his start in Prague, 1992. Not the city,
We
the movie.
talked about him as Nightcrawler, right?
Yeah, that's Kurt Wagner.
Into his.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of sad. On IMDb, they have like the known 4 movies, like the top 4, and Son of the Mask is one of his known 4 movies.
Oh, that's lame.
Yeah.
Interestingly,
He's not the worst part of this movie.
No, he's fine. He did what he was supposed to do.
Yeah.
He's a decent actor.
He was the voice of Black Beauty in Black Beauty in 1994.
Wow.
That opened the same week as The Mask.
Crazy.
I didn't know Black Beauty
funny.
No, the entire thing's narrated by the horse.
Yeah.
I'm not joking. Yeah.
I'm just doing this for
no
another
one can
apple.
talk to a horse, of course.
It's like fucking clippity clop. These stupid ass humans think I'm not going to kick them in the face the moment they look away.
It's like, even if they know about my fate, the fate of horses.
Trailer Howard starred as Tanya Avery, Jamie Kennedy's wife.
Taylor.
Wow. She was born in
She's been in a
1960.
lot.
She was born in 1966. She looked so much
Really?
younger. Yeah. I had no idea she was that old.
She looked exactly
great.
like comedian Eliza Schlesinger.
Yeah, she did.
They look exactly the same.
But
her name is Trailer.
Yeah, Trailer. Spelled Traylor.
Right.
Trailer. Right. Yeah, that's her. She was born with that name. Wow. I've seen if it was a stage name, but no, that was her parents' fault.
Yeah.
Much like my own. So she didn't have a great career movie-wise till the end of night. Confessions of a Sexist Pig. The big movies she was in was Dirty Work and Me, Myself, and Irene.
Dirty Work.
That's right.
Where I remember.
Yeah, Norm Macdonald.
I love that movie.
Yeah. She did a lot of TV. She did some bit parts in Lois and Clark. Boston Commons she starred in, which was on for 2 years. She starred along with Mr. Deadpool in Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place.
Oh, that's where she's from too. That's another place.
She's the pizza place. No, I get it.
She was in Monk for 4 years. So yeah, she did a lot of TV stuff. Cal Penn as Jorge?
Yeah.
His name is Jorge.
That was the most confusing part of this whole movie.
I know. And he had such a small...
Yeah, he sometimes had a really awful racist accent and sometimes didn't.
Right. And like they took the time to give him a love interest in the very beginning
and
of the
then
movie.
never paid it off. Well, kind of paid it off.
Well, never paid him off. You know, he pops up in voiceover later on the phone.
Yeah, no, everybody just disappears halfway through this movie except the baby and the dog.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's in his mocap suit at the very end.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So
he disappeared to have a lot of sex or something.
I don't know. Or to join his Latino route. I don't know.
Yeah. To go visit his parents and
I get the feeling Cal Penn and Jamie Kennedy are friends. They were both in Malibu's Most Wanted and Harold Kumar Go to White Castle together.
Yeah, they may have done comedy together or something at some point and stayed with each other. Yeah,
then one of them went to work in the White House.
Yeah, Cal Penn worked as what did he do? He was
like a youth advisor.
Yeah.
But he was a member of the administration.
Yeah.
He was also press secretary on Designated Survivor.
Weird.
Which he was really good in that role.
He's a good actor. He really is.
He's good, and I like seeing him pop up wherever he is. He most recently has been in Blue's Clues and You as himself.
Oh, yeah. I was really disappointed to see the accent in this movie.
Yeah.
And then he was supposed to be Hispanic.
Yeah, it's the weirdest fucking character. Stephen Wright is Daniel Moss. Stephen Wright, best known as a stand-up.
On the couch.
They seem to go. What's that?
It's the guy on the couch from Half Baked.
He is the guy
Yes,
on
he
the
is.
couch from Half Baked. It's like they went out of their way to not let him be funny.
Oh, absolutely.
The man is naturally funny. He has some of the funniest lines in all
funniest
of
one
comedy.
I got a full body tattoo of myself, only taller.
Yeah.
Everywhere is walking distance if you have the time.
Yeah.
The guy who came up with the alphabet wrote everything.
I bought
his
it.
delivery was very much his delivery.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there was no humor in any of it. It was so weird.
Yeah.
He was monotone and looked down a lot, but so brilliant.
His credits are crazy. So he got his first credit is for 1979. He was an extra in something called The Last Word. Then he had a named role in Desperately Seeking Susan. He was The Appointments of Dennis Jennings, stars and bars. He was K. Billy in Reservoir Dogs. He was in So I Married an Axe Murderer, Natural Born Killers.
He's so good in So I Married an Axe Murderer.
Oh, God, yeah.
The pilot that's flying through the storm.
That's right.
The sort of like nihilist doesn't care.
Canadian Bacon, Babe Pig in the City. Babe Pig in the City 3, Canadian Bacon.
Canadian Bacon, yeah. He's like, I want to cover all the pork.
Oh, man.
Stories I can.
His most recent film credit, which I had to watch this, The Emoji Movie.
Which emoji is he?
The Emoji Movie.
Could they change their expression?
No, which emoji was he?
Oh, he was.
Let's do the poop emoji.
That was Patrick Stewart. Was the poop emoji.
I assume he was the flat emoji, just the
meh emoji.
Yeah,
the
meh.
He was Mel, the meh. Well, and no. So the plot of that movie is that two meh emojis have a child who is a happy emoji, and they don't know how to deal with him.
So murder's on the menu.
Yeah,
tale as old as time.
And then there's like
kids happy.
And the entire thing takes place inside a phone, and there's like some sort of evil app that got there's some spyware that got installed on the kid's phone, and it's trying to take over the emojis. So the happy emoji has to go on a mission to save the phone.
I'm glad I missed that one.
Ooh, it's crazy. Bob Hoskins as Odin.
This was probably his last role, right?
No, I don't know. No, he had a few. He died in 2014. He had a solid 10 years after this.
This is a great casting for Odin.
He was great.
Yeah, he does a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
love that guy.
Oh no, Bob Hoskins is amazing. Yeah. He got to start in the 70s. Yeah, the 70s. He was in Pink Floyd's The Wall, The Cotton Club, Brazil, A Prayer for the Dying, Who Framed Roger Rabbit is where I first became aware of him, as Eddie Valiant, Mermaids, Hook. He played Smee in Hook.
Yeah.
He played Mario in Super Mario Brothers.
His middle name is David after his father.
He played J. Edgar Hoover in Nixon.
Yes, he did.
And he played Nixon in Balto. No. And also Spice World. No.
He's the manager in Spice World.
He played Ginger Spice in Spice World. Her in disguise.
As Bob Hoskins?
Yes. Oh God. Yeah, Enemy at the Gates. Made in Manhattan. Jesus. After Son of the Mask, he did a bunch of stuff. Garfield, A Tale of Two Kitties. Hollywoodland, Wind in the Willows. He played Badger. The 2009 A Christmas Carol, that was the motion capture one with Jim Carrey. His last movie was Snow White and the Huntsman.
Interesting.
Not as bad as this.
Thor in it, right?
Oh yeah, it did. Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
Ben Stein, who we talked about with the first Mask movie, the only returning character. Yep. Ben Stein, noted asshole.
Former Nixon speechwriter, Ben Stein.
And
a Trump supporter.
Oh, sure.
Big time.
Yeah. And Magda Subansky as Betty, the nosy neighbor.
Wow.
She was in, let's see, The D Generation. Ooh, that's television. Big Girl's Blouse. God. The Farscape series. Something called Dog Woman.
All right.
In films. She played Mrs. Hoggett in Babe in 1995 and Mrs. Hoggett in Babe 2, Pig in the City, Canadian Bacon.
Yeah, she definitely was a Canadian Bacon. Who was the baby? Who was the son of the Mask? Who played the son of the Mask? Did they grow up to...
Is the baby the son of the Mask? Okay.
I mean...
Yeah, did they go to, drink themselves into, recovery? I don't know. I assume this was a bad role to start with as a child actor.
It was a pair of twins. Their names are Ryan and Liam Falconer. I assume they are involved with birding.
Yeah. They now live in the corner of Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
The Falconers.
Working for princes. I was curious because honestly, the baby was like, baby actors are like animal actors in the sense of you just hold a toy and they're like, I look happy, or you take the toy away and they look sad.
Yeah,
they did a lot of work with that baby. I was really.
Well, I was going to say they were locked in, and they probably had to do it fast, but because so much of that animation was so specific to his facial expressions that if that kid dropped out halfway through I sort of got that feeling with Jamie Kennedy sometimes, that he was not necessarily the animation model that they used all the way.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. Interesting.
People started to realize that this movie was going to be bad halfway through the filming of it. Is that what you're saying?
Or that or another actor was in mind when they started putting together the preliminary stuff. I know that. Okay, so the first Mask, that he had a distorted cartoonish face, but there was still some Jim Carrey there that you could see. When Jamie Kennedy has the Mask face, the green with the orange hair, there are times where it doesn't seem like it's him.
Yeah,
I'm sure that it is, but the outer animation, that doesn't look like Jamie Kennedy's. Anyway.
Well, okay. I mean, so as far as the background of this, it was announced shortly after The Mask that they were going to be making The Mask 2 with Jim Carrey returning. This was announced in Nintendo Power magazine.
Nintendo Power at that point, though, was
that was a hot.
It was like the New York Times.
Yeah, that and Wizards of the Coast were two things that you read. I was just going to say
Wizard.
Wizard. Fangoria for my money.
Yes, Fangoria.
Yeah, Fangoria too.
Mad Cracked.
So they held a contest where the first prize would be awarded a walk-on role in the film. As late as
Jamie Kennedy won.
Yeah, that's how this got made. As late as 1996, Chuck Russell, who directed the first one, said he was still pursuing making the sequel. Originally, Amy Yasbeck, who was reporter Peggy Brandt, was supposed to come back. He cut out scenes from the original where Peggy died to leave in so that she could return for the sequel. But then Carrey refused to come back. He just basically said, no, he's not going to do it. And that was kind of the end of that. The contest winner of the Nintendo Power, footnote, the Nintendo Power contest was given an apology and $5,000 in 2012.
So even after
for the last issue of Nintendo Power.
Wow. So they litigated the hell out of this probably. Yeah. Got $5,000 in a handshake.
Jim Carrey had since done Ace Ventura 2, and after doing that, he decided he wasn't going to do any more sequels.
Right.
Oh, all right. Even though that was funny too. Him coming out of that rhinoceros is one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Yeah. That will haunt me till my dying day.
Yeah. But what's funny about this kid who won, that they did make this movie.
Yeah, he could have been
And
in
then a
this.
few years after that, he could have been in it. Yeah.
No. But you have to imagine he was like, that wasn't The Mask 2. Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
That's not what I was promised.
Like, I wanted to meet Jim Carrey, not Jamie Kennedy.
So
This is horseshit.
My agent has conditions. Like, you won a contest, dude. But he's so much older than when he won.
It's like a 35-year-old man. Just like,
Yeah. Like, I was into this then.
yeah.
I waited by the phone.
So, okay, they started in 2001. New Line basically went to Lance Kazai, the director, and said, hey, the writer, and said, write the sequel to The Mask. So he wrote it. They pushed it through and they made it. Like there's not really a whole lot of story behind this. There was no one spearheading it. The studio decided as a financial decision to make the sequel to The Mask.
That's great. Yeah. And they had a lot of faith, obviously, because even then, $100 million. Woof.
Yeah. $100 million in 2005 is a big, big movie.
Yeah. If you're not making
How
a
much
Star
was
Wars
Spider-Man?
movie or a
Oh, the first Spider-Man, the Tobey Maguire one, it was over 100, but it was around that area.
Yeah.
Not much over 100.
Jesus.
So
right. Those are the kind of movies that cost that much at the time.
yeah,
So,
exactly.
not The Son of the Mask.
They thought this was going to be a big hit. They thought they were making a big tentpole movie. They were not. A few notes. Tim Avery was named that to pay homage to Tex Avery.
Mm-hmm.
The dog's name is Otis. In the original comic book and in the first movie, the dog's name was Milo. This is a nod to the adventures of Milo and Otis. For some reason. Yeah.
Yeah, for some reason.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. For some reason. This movie has 6% on Rotten Tomatoes, making it the second worst reviewed movie we've watched, behind only The Toxic Avenger 2, which had a 0% in that it received no reviews.
This doesn't deserve 6%.
I like that. No.
This is like the greatest just disappointment ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
It's awful.
Not even ironically fun.
No, it's bad in every possible way. I cannot stress this enough, listeners. Do not watch this movie if you don't have to.
Don't even look up clips on YouTube. Like there's yeah.
And if you're used to mocap and CGI the way it's been done the last 10 years, this will make you uncomfortable.
Oh,
that baby made me uncomfortable.
Yeah. It was gross and bad. Roger Ebert wrote, Son of the Mask lacks a baseline. It is all mania all the time. The behavior in the movie is not inappropriate, shocking, out of character, implied, or anything else. It is simply behavior.
Yep.
And that's where we are.
And very insular, about 5 or 6 people.
Oh yeah,
is the world of this movie.
Well, it's a very.
I would say there's one character moment in this whole movie, and it's the wife saying, "Who's a fish face?" And I was like, "Oh, they actually have a human relationship."
Right.
And they do not revisit it whatsoever.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, there's a couple times they try they're a crazy zany couple who love each other. The wife just has her work life together a little better. But it's it was bad. It's so bad, and I never for a second bought that her and Jamie Kennedy would ever that
she would ever be attracted to him.
Yeah,
as a human, let alone as a physical body.
She is so far out of his league in every possible way that a person can be out of another person's league. Yeah. Not just in like as a relationship. Like she's clearly a better being that deserves to exist in the universe more.
I think they really heavy-handedly tried to enforce what a loser he was. Why would she love him? He's been working on his dream for 10 years, but if you ask him about it, he doesn't have a fucking clue.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
Well, and there's moments where he's such a bad father that it becomes abusive.
Oh, yeah. Moments.
He offered him a lot of neglect. Yeah.
90% of his interaction with the baby was terrifying.
The fucking baby. Nobody has a good scene with that baby.
Oh, that baby. So, guys,
baby.
Are you ready? Are you ready to slog through this mask pile?
Well, to quote the dog in this, smoking. Not even smoking.
Yeah, smoking.
Steaming pile of smoking shit.
It's like, oh, that dog reprised the Jim Carrey line. Nice.
Okay. Well,
is that the same dog? At least, do we know if that was the same dog?
No.
It was not.
It was 10 years later. It was
The dog was dead,
we're watching a dead dog.
Yeah. Well, here we go, guys. This is
a story of a girl. I wish.
Son of the Mask. We open on Edge City. Dr. Arthur Newman, the only character from the first movie to make it into this one, is giving a museum tour to a bunch of tourists.
Yeah, quite a mixed bag of tourists. Yeah. It's the middle of the night.
Yes. Yes, it is. How late is this museum open?
Well, right. So you had to reserve tickets or, this seemed like a special sort of thing. And so that redneck guy...
They seem so when events at museums are at nighttime, it's usually a fundraiser of some sort. They're usually private to the public. So it's like, oh, you gave the museum a great amount of money. So I was just confused as to why these people supported Edge City's arts and history museum.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, and when it first came in, because we just saw the museum, it was nighttime and we heard his voice. I assumed he was giving a speech, that he was going to be at a podium or something. Then we come in and he's just a tour guide to a random group of tourists in the middle of the night.
Which, if he is actually a lecturer, it's probably a higher end ticketed event. Yeah. It's really weird. Yeah. Did not make sense from a museum perspective.
So that redneck,
yeah.
Whereas in the first movie, he was like a pop psychologist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's right.
He was not a historian.
Dr. Joyce Brothers type. Yeah. Well, I don't think he's much of one in this.
No.
He's talking about their lack of tools while he's standing next to their boat.
Yeah.
What the fuck do you think a boat is, Dr. Arthur?
He's like, they had rhythm, they had music. Who can ask for anything more?
They made musical instruments.
Yeah, but no weapons.
Probably with tools.
Mm-hmm.
The Nordic people are very famous for the tools that they developed and used.
These were he was talking. The people who didn't have the tools were
tribe.
The Mafulu.
Mm-hmm.
From the name, I don't think that's an actual tribe. I did not Google it, but I assumed it being Hollywood in 2004, they were like, it sounds African, we'll run with it.
I did realize that, but it was hard to catch that. It seemed like he was speaking about the Vikings because that's everything else he's speaking about.
Yeah.
The list of musical instruments that they had recovered from the Mafulu were drums, guitars, and harmonicas.
Yeah, harmonicas.
With metal harmonicas.
That old soft shoe. Yeah, exactly.
So they view a Norse mythology display, which includes the Mask of Loki. Loki, however, is in the crowd, and he takes umbrage at the doctor's description of Loki as a troubled child of Odin.
Did everyone catch the portable hole on the painting of Loki?
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Like the Acme type hole?
Yeah. Yeah, like the Acme portable hole. There were two paintings in sequence of him holding it up and then having dropped it on the floor, these people falling through.
Oh, yeah. I just saw it as a portal. I didn't think of it as, it is the Acme style.
Yeah, that makes sense, yeah.
That's really interesting.
So Loki steals the mask on display only to discover it's fake. He commits some light mayhem and wonders aloud where his mask is.
He peels Ben Stein's face off.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not like skin, like the whole front quarter of his face just comes off as a chunk
of rubber. Yeah. Which was funny for a moment, and then it just continued on.
Yeah.
I hate the way they made him look, but Loki was a pretty good character. I know he's a public domain character, but he seemed on character for Loki.
And not that far from the MCU's depiction of him.
Not that far from not that far from Loki Hiddleston. Yeah.
Right. Not particularly evil per se.
Just mischievous.
Myopic and self-centered.
Yeah, and with daddy issues.
Yep.
Yeah, serious daddy issues.
Smurfly.
Yeah. So we cut to a beautiful country stream where a dog finds the real Loki's mask, which is apparently finally washed there from the first movie.
Yeah, because we know that the way water works is the ocean travels up these small brooks and streams rather than the other way around. Right? Wasn't the mask thrown in the ocean?
A bay of some sort. I assume it was an ocean.
Yeah, a bay.
Yeah.
Right. Edge City's harbor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a mountain lake, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe that's it. Yeah, right. It's higher than Fringe.
Maybe it was a Great Lake. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? But that's definitely water
Edge
flows
City,
away from
Michigan.
Yeah.
This is Fringe. This is Fringe City, where you will find like Proud Boys and
real freaks,
QAnons.
Yeah.
They gave us explicit location in reference to Edge City.
Yeah.
They said it was like 270 miles southwest.
Yeah. So
I believe.
Why?
So this is Fringe City for another city. This is not Fringe City of Edge City.
Edge City.
Yeah.
This is
Well,
like
I mean, if nothing else, I appreciate that they told us. We just went through like 4 or 5 movies where they just wouldn't even tell us what fucking city they were in.
yeah.
That's true.
Made up or otherwise.
That's true.
Is this Portland? No, it's New York. No, it's Chicago. I can't tell.
Yeah.
Are they in London now?
Detroit, Singapore, who knows?
I mean, like we knew Constantine because he mentioned streets and places in LA, but they never told you he was in LA.
No. Well,
funny.
and what was confusing about that was he was walking everywhere, but nobody walks in LA. Sorry.
He didn't want to smoke in his car.
Right.
That's true.
In a nearby house, a couple show off their new baby and their cadre of unruly children to their childless friends, Tim and Tanya Avery.
Oh, I thought that was her sister, but I thought too much.
Was it?
I don't know.
I don't It doesn't matter.
No,
and we never see them ever again.
No.
Right. No, it does not matter.
Yeah, I really thought they were going to come back because normally in screenwriting, you'd set up things at the beginning and then pay them off later.
Yep.
Even small things get small payoffs later.
Because they could have taken the baby to go play with his kids. Like, oh, while I'm out of town, take the baby to the friend's house and you can relax for a few minutes.
Or have a scene where he babysits their baby to give it a try, see if he's even a decent, caregiver.
There's any number of things that they could have done instead of setting up scene after scene and character after character and then just abandoning them completely.
Yeah.
Yes. 100%.
So Tim's freaked out about kids. Tanya wants to have some. Tim doesn't know what a turkey sounds like.
Yeah. Like an Arrested Development. That's all I could think.
And what was funny is I had the subtitles on and the subtitles didn't know either. It said, Tim makes turkey sounds. So if you're deaf, you don't get the joke.
Unholy grunting.
She is baby crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She, for some reason, she needs to replicate the genes of Jamie Kennedy, post haste.
Yeah. Like to a point where it made me uncomfortable. Like this woman, this like successful business guided woman is like, I just want to fuck a baby, man.
She's baby crazy. Yeah. So not only does she not really have a conversation with another woman, period, but she's a sassy businesswoman and baby crazy. That's all she is.
So,
she has no other depth.
Yeah, no. So there is not a single conversation between two women in this film.
There's one that's implied off screen between her and the nosy neighbor.
Right, implied.
I know you told me in our previously undisclosed conversation to call you if something weird happens with your baby.
And I'm calling you now because my husband.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So Tanya's mad about Tim sucking, and their dog Otis is the one that found the mask. Meanwhile,
she's not mad that he sucks. Go ahead, Al.
Oh, I was just going to say he called her Tauntaun at one point.
Yeah. I thought they smelled bad on the outside.
Remember that night in college when I cut you open and slept in you?
They're real freaky. They should not be bringing a child into that household.
No.
Also, Otis has his own bedroom, which they call the doghouse.
Yeah.
But it's pretty swanky.
Oh yeah,
That's another point actually that I almost forgotten. And he's like Otis is rolling on that ball and doing all kinds of little tricks. Like I thought maybe his career was going to be that he trains this dog and has this like little dog that he puts in, commercials or this or that. No.
Actually, that would have been an interesting story to tell.
Yeah, it would explain following the dog as much as we did.
Well, and
so they made this dude a cartoonist, which is mostly sitting at your table looking down.
Night, using your dog as a reference, I've got this magnificent dog that I can draw.
Well, and the whole thing, the fact that he's so into the dog is weird because it's like, he's like, oh, a baby's so much to take care of. Like, you put so much energy into this dog.
Yeah.
Like, and I understand that's where like the jealousy between the dog and the baby comes in later. Is that his attention isn't on the dog anymore, it's on the baby now. But like, I don't know. It's just weird that he obviously has parental instincts.
Right. Nurturing. Yeah.
So, I don't know. Anyways, meanwhile, Odin's pissed that Loki hasn't found the mask yet, and so he yells at him for a little bit. We find out Tim's an aspiring animator, although his day job is dressing up as a turtle to give tours at Animagine Animation Studio. His buddy
Torpedo Tortoise was the character.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of Stephen Wright's many creations, like Siamese popes and crazy cactus. But yeah, it's very interesting. In a movie that is just disgustingly full of CGI animation, this guy's trying to make it in 2D animation, which was basically on its way out.
It was dead, in 2005.
Yeah. He was still making flip books.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and
instead of QuickBooks.
Should have been a tax accountant.
His buddy of confusing ethnicity convinces him to pitch his show idea to the big boss, who shoots him down.
Because he doesn't even have an elevator pitch of this idea he's been working on for 10 years.
Yeah.
Every time in this movie, it's not just this one time, anybody asks him about his show, he totally freezes up like he's got no clue.
Yeah, no,
you don't deserve to win.
Yeah, no, he's not. He clearly doesn't have an idea for a story. He just likes to draw stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So that night he goes to the big office Halloween party by himself, as his wife is to work late.
We found out that his like subtle rivalry is with Chad.
Yeah.
Who's a total Chad.
Yeah.
Which doesn't really come up more than once again.
Yeah, there's a couple times later on where
he makes a couple comments.
Yeah, he makes a couple comments, makes a couple like sly looks in his direction, but it doesn't pay off. It doesn't go anywhere. Yeah. Nothing goes anywhere in this movie.
If this movie was written well, Chad would get the mask at some point.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nope.
And try and steal his wife or something. I don't know.
Maybe even Kal Penn too at some point. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a number of things.
The mask was very secondary to this movie.
In the first half. In the second half, it was the only thing in this movie, and the movie seemed like it was like two different movies. The first half and the second half were two entirely different movies.
Yeah.
So
he's at the party.
Yeah, he's at the party. Yeah.
Which is like the event of the year, but yet inside is a total drag.
Yeah. Exactly. He takes the mask with him as he's missing his own Halloween mask and puts it on just before he enters the party. And then hijinks and one of the worst musical numbers I've ever seen ensue.
Oh,
and he saves the party. This musical number.
This is the worst musical number I've ever seen in a film by far.
Well, especially because I don't know, but in my mind, that song is the song used in The Deer Hunter. When all the guys at the wedding, after the wedding, the guys are all about to go to Vietnam separately, and this is the song that they're singing loudly. Yeah, so weird.
I think of 10 Things I Hate About You, because this is what Heath Ledger sings in the stands.
Yeah,
he's got the marching band, and it's very cute. But to have this just be a guy who can't sing karaoke at the party. Why are people booing him?
They're booing him, and like they're
booing Chad, right?
Yeah. And like they're leaving, like it's the end of the party because he's singing this song.
Like, but is it karaoke or is it a band? Like
there was a band that was playing it instrumental, and Moss wanted. He said like this party drags or something. Like he wanted it to be livened up. Chad is like, I'll liven up this party, and then he decides to jump up on stage and start singing.
That makes more sense, because I was like, they don't seem very like this is not fun karaoke in any way whatsoever. Like these people just they hate karaoke. Is what I took away from.
Well, and there were different pockets of fans of genres that were just waiting for their opportunity.
Oh yeah,
all those cowboys that I guess all decided to be cowboys and cowgirls for the Halloween party. They're like, oh, it's our turn to get up and line dance.
When Jamie
they hit at least 4 genres, right, of music.
Yeah.
So we opened with like the pop hip hop thing.
Yeah.
And then there was like the Mambo number 5 kind of thing, like the Latin thing.
Yep.
Then there was the country western.
Right.
And then it went back into like pop, like a different pop hip hop kind of like
a different like a Limp Bizkit pop hip hop maybe.
I don't know. But Jamie Kennedy rapping as the Mask is one of the worst things my eyes have ever endured.
And somehow rapping that same song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the actual lyrics. He wasn't rapping
like a rap cover. It's time to get up and dance.
And it was during that when I was really feeling like the animation or the prosthetics did not match him.
No, he didn't look like Jamie Kennedy in The Mask like Jim Carrey looked like Jim Carrey in The Mask.
Right. If you looked at his eyes, you could be like, oh, maybe, okay. But nothing else.
Yeah.
And the weird, creepy plastic hair helmet.
Yeah. When my little brother was little, there was a weird kids show, and the characters had that sort of plastic hair.
It was
the guy with the moon-shaped head, where he looked like a crescent moon.
Yeah, what was that guy?
Passed away recently.
Yeah, what was that?
It was Infinity something, and
Something Town.
Infinity Village.
Yeah,
Something Town. Yeah.
Anyways, it was very unsettling.
Trouble Town.
Then, yeah, but I don't know.
But,
Fringe.
Yeah. Yeah, no, very much like that.
The plastic hair, the plastic face.
Yeah.
Very odd.
Like those old Duracell commercials from the 90s. Remember those?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, with the like wind-up type people.
Yeah.
Like that Wynona's Big Brown Beaver music video.
Yeah. That look.
Yeah.
So, all right. So anyways, he goes home as the Mask and fucks his wife.
Yeah.
But doesn't turn the lights on, so she is unaware of his plastic hair and green skin.
Or maybe they do it with costumes on a lot.
No, he seems unaware that they had done it. He seems a little, confused.
Yeah, later I don't think he remembers the act.
No.
So
yeah, you're right, because he would then know the inherent power in it. He seems to, he wants the Mask back to help him with his idea, but
Yeah.
But we're not sure if he even knows what it does.
The whole parentage of this child reminded me of Prometheus. If you guys remember Prometheus, where it's like there's a bit of human DNA and a little bit of this black goop, and then it makes a big squid monster.
Yeah.
Is this baby the equivalent of a squid monster?
Yeah.
If they have little brothers and sisters, are they all going to then become children of the Mask and have these powers? Or is he the only one because the Mask is now back in...
I have another question. No. Was there a Dune-esque time leap that we experienced, or did he gestate like much faster? No,
there was a montage. Okay. There was a montage.
That's what I thought. Yeah, that was a big jump.
Yeah. Well, okay. So the next day, his dog takes the Mask, unbeknownst to Tim, and at work, his boss tells Tim that he loves the Mask character and gives him a big promotion. The Mask character, just like. He showed up as the Mask. It's not like he showed him some drawings with it.
Right.
But so Tim goes home, can't find the Mask. His wife tells him she's pregnant. She pukes up bubbles in her morning sickness. Then we get a montage of the pregnancy. His cartoon ideas are falling flat at work. The baby is showing signs of not being normal. Then the baby is born in the usual manner.
Oh, we had the EKG of the baby, like with maracas and like playing the drums or something.
Yeah.
No, he had a medallion and he was doing like a disco funk.
Yeah, he first went to Freak Out.
That's right.
Say Chic, and then jumped into Cuban Pete.
That's
Imagine
right.
that. Imagine having to pass that medallion as well.
But only when Tim was looking.
Yeah.
Only. Yeah.
Yeah. Back.
Yeah, but it still takes him a long, long time to put all that shit together.
Oh yeah.
Did anyone notice that Tanya was eating silly string on crackers when she was pregnant?
I did notice.
I did not, but that's cute.
It was.
That is a funny little bit.
So meanwhile, Loki is still looking for the mask. Odin has discovered that a baby was born of the mask, and he's pissed off about it. Back in the burbs, Otis the dog secretly has the mask in his new outside doghouse. Tim is still looking for it, and he's still not doing well at work. Their baby Alvy is exhibiting mask-like powers, and Otis don't like it one bit. Loki goes to the hospital where Alvy was born and gets a list of babies, all born on July 27th.
Yeah, pretty good investigative powers.
Then there's a montage of Alvy not sleeping through the night. Then Tanya has to go to New York for the week, and Tim has to work from home while she's gone to take care of Alvy.
Yeah, so she has to provide for the household. Yeah, he's just totally inept. Just doubling down on that character, even in 2005.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was bad.
It's like, did we not learn anything from Daddy Daycare?
I know I did. Then Tim learns he has to get his drawings done by lunch, but babies be pooping.
And they want him to deliver his drawings at midnight to the factory on the wharf.
Right. Like, there's a point where he's like talking on the phone and he's like, no, babies suck. They're so hard to take care of. It's like,
yeah, oh, fuck them.
I hate babies. Babies are stupid. We check back in with Loki, who is going down the list of babies. And Tim lets Alvy watch cartoons all night while he sleeps. And Otis, the dog, puts on the mask. Alvy plots against his dad. Otis plots against the baby.
Mm-hmm.
The next day, Alvy demonstrates his powers to his dad, but when he tries to tell the neighbor, the baby does the old Michigan J. Frog routine. Meanwhile, Loki's still looking for the baby. Alvy.
Which was the worst.
Yeah. Oh,
the Michigan Frog.
Yeah, the baby dancing around.
However, one of the best. It was terrible. It was sick, and having it dance. Ugh.
It was.
But I have to admit, one of my favorite parts in this movie was watching old Looney Tunes cartoons from the perspective of that character.
Watching the baby watch cartoons was the best part of the movie.
I was like, oh shit, I could do this all day. Just watch Looney Tunes.
Yeah, no.
That's one of my favorite bits.
HBO Max has all of the Looney Tunes. I could just be watching those instead of this movie.
I have a big DVD set, but
I assume that's why this movie is on HBO. Not to rep them, but because of its connection to Warner Brothers.
Yeah, I mean, I assume is New Line owned by Warner Brothers or at this point? I'm not sure.
It might have been then. Those were properties. Well, I don't know. Woody Woodpecker's Universal property. Maybe they had some Roger Rabbit type permissions.
Yeah.
Who knows? Flintstones is Hanna-Barbera, and now Warner Brothers. Yeah.
Huh.
And this was also the movie was also in association with Dark Horse.
Which is true. Warner. Yeah. All right. So
the first Mask movie, it had a short sequence of Jim Carrey watching cartoons, right?
Yeah.
It didn't have, like, this movie has at least 5, maybe 10 minutes of cartoon footage on screen.
Oh yeah.
Well,
like licensed stuff.
Yeah. Licensed stuff. Yeah, totally.
So
and Stanley was watching the Red Hot Riding Hood. So it directly tied into the story.
Uh-huh.
So weird.
And,
we got the frog and the Woody Woodpecker sequence.
And
Flintstones.
Bam Bam. That was cute.
To be Bam Bam, yeah.
So they didn't use it well.
No, they didn't. They didn't, and there was a bunch of Wile E. Coyote type stuff with the dog and the baby at one point.
Tom and Jerry shit, giant cannon. And...
Yeah.
They didn't do a good job, I think, of the Bam Bam thing, because there was like a good 15 minutes before we got the Bam Bam moment.
Yeah.
Right.
Where I was like, this should have happened, half an hour ago almost. It felt like this movie just moves so slowly.
To be clear, this movie was 12 hours long.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It felt like the year 2020.
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. So Alvy terrorizes his dad for a while in a series of terribly animated mid-2000s CGI sequences. Then the dog tries to blow him up. Baby gets the upper hand. The dog plots his revenge. Loki has some more going to people's houses and messing with babies sequences.
I love this. It felt like a Roald Dahl kind of sequence, just like him showing up and Loki showing up with weird costumes on. It felt like Roald Dahl, like in a witch kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just the way that it was like obviously him, like when he's a trash collector guy. I was like, oh, this is kind of fun.
It illustrated that Alan Cumming is a good actor.
Yeah.
In a bad movie.
Well, it has good comedic chops too.
Oh yeah.
Timing, yeah. I have this note, and we've gone past it, but I do have to ask if anybody else thought so. When he is doing the music number at the party and he's doing the rap stuff, he sounds like Humpty from Digital Underground.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And I don't mean like he's replicating it like it sounds like Humpty. Like it sounded like his voice. I wonder.
In the credits, Jamie Kennedy does get credit for the vocals on that song.
Well, and he was a mimic, like he did impressions.
Yeah.
Well, and
in fact, I was watching Scream, and his biggest impression of that is Jerry Lewis, and I'm like, how did we even get that job? Like, why was that even? All right.
I don't know. I was raised on Jerry Lewis.
So was I.
Yeah.
But it's just so funny. It's like Bill Hader doing James Mason and Gregory Peck and like Vincent Price. It's like anybody from the last 40 years? No.
Yeah.
Your parents love this joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, God, how do any of us know so much about the 50s, 60s, and 70s pop culture? It's insane.
Because they were instantly nostalgic.
I was raised by my grandparents, so
I mostly was too. But yeah, even my parents. Yes, all of their art right away was just nostalgic as fuck.
Yeah.
So all right, then we get an extensive urine sequence.
This is like disgusting. This was a moment out of all the moments in this disgusting movie where my jaw was agape. I just like,
it just kept going and going, and it was so yellow.
And what are they implying with the 3 streams of pee? Did this baby grow 2 penises in addition to its already existing penis, or did its penis split into thirds? Like, not to get too much. This is like Superman with the baby sequence
He
there, but
puts the mask on his dick.
What did it like? Was it like a Demogorgon penis? Like opens up?
It's just there was so much happening with this where I was like, is his penis morphing? What is happening?
Oh, he's Jewish.
Before that, I did kind of appreciate when Otis was drawing up the schematics of his plan.
Yes.
Sure, Wile E. Coyote style. Yeah.
That animated bit. And there were a couple of times when Alvy spoke in a deep adult male voice.
Mama, mommy, say dada, mother, and then
Madre.
That guy, the deep Alvy voice was Neil Ross, who has been doing voice work since like 1977. Some of his older stuff includes Transformers, Voltron, G.I. Joe, and Spider-Man, the 80s ones. He was the voice of Norman Osborn, Sandman, and Scorpion.
Oh, wow.
Huh. He was also the museum narrator in Back to the Future Part 2.
Oh,
I remember that.
All right, so Loki finally arrives at Tim's house, but Alvy won't show him his powers. He leaves, but then outside he sees Alvy display his powers when Tim puts him in the car. Tim and Alvy drive off, and Loki follows.
There's an Exorcist reference.
Yeah. Oh, God, and his head spins.
And then he pukes green.
Yeah.
The neon green puke I thought was funny in that sense, where I was like, I
It
guess
looks like
that's
slime.
Yeah, I was like, that's worth
Nick
the
Slime.
Exorcist reference. But yeah, it was really, that's not a kid's movie.
No.
It's not a reference that children would get. Also, that shit was terrifying because this baby's head spins around like he's an owl.
Right. At this point, the nosy neighbor calls mom to report that there's a problem at home. Loki confronts Tim and Alvy on the street and demands his mask. Tim and the baby flee, but Loki corners them in an alley. He tries to take out Tim, but Alvy stops him. Then Odin...
Yeah, first of all, she was not a nosy neighbor. No. She had to be drawn into this situation.
The mom asked her to keep an eye on them.
And then Tim went to her.
Yeah.
Took his wife's advice and got her involved. It's like they knew about these different storytelling tropes and characters. And then just as soon as they got up to it, just fucking turned.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like she could have been a Gladys Kravitz type neighbor watching out the window, and she also sees the baby being fucking crazy, and nobody believes her either.
Or just hears the sounds in the house getting destroyed, and is like, what is happening? I would have, I thought that when he called her the nosy neighbor, I thought to myself, I would have liked to see her peeking through the blinds.
Yeah.
Every couple of times when he's like, is anybody seeing this?
If they were going for the whole like baby and dad at home alone and it's insane in the suburbs, I would have liked to have seen something Burbs like where we get to see the neighborhood. Right.
Yeah.
Take him to the park and he messes with other little kids.
Yeah. There's so many things that could have been done with this concept that didn't suck.
Yeah. The neighbor could have called the cops and the cops could have shown up and you could have had him have this moment of like, embarrassment,
Right. Just like the frog thing. He won't perform in front of the cops, but maybe at one point the cop turns around and grabs the cop's gun and Tim knows he has the gun behind the cop or.
Yeah. There's a million tropes you could explore in a fun way with this level of movie that this just fell completely flat on.
Or like bonking dad with the hippie hammer, or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A million things. All right. So, at this point, Odin possesses Tim and strips Loki of his powers. Then Tim gets a call and has to go pitch his cartoon immediately.
Well, he becomes mortal, and then the baby smashes him with 2 dumpsters.
Yeah, and he just does the cartoon shaky thing where he's vibrating.
Yeah. So this movie doesn't follow its own rules immediately after setting them.
Well, and does Tim get some sort of head injury? Because then around that point, he's sort of like dim-witted. Like,
he got bonked or something at this point, somewhere in there, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
He might also be a little shell-shocked from being possessed by Odin.
I know once. Because I know.
I think that might have been it. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, he's all like woozy, like he's been on something or something.
Well, he's a conduit like Odin used. I forgot that happened.
Yeah, the number
it
of
was
characters.
Loki.
Yeah.
Well, I will say about the just while we're on the Odin taking over, what's the word for it? Possessing people. It was interesting to see Odin possess a black shopkeeper and a black policewoman.
Yeah. There were three
made me
people.
think of American Gods, where I was like, oh, interesting that we're not sticking with Odin taking over an old white guy and a homeless guy or something who has a big white beard.
The first character was comedian Jerry Minor, who's been in lots of stuff, and he's a very talented guy. He still appears in things. Yeah.
I thought that was interesting. I was like, well, not to say that they get credit for that at all, but I was like, I'm surprised that they did not use an old homeless guy with a white beard or something, or like a Santa Claus at like the mall becoming Odin or something.
Yeah, I noted it. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah. All right. So, he has to go pitch his show immediately. He shows up and bombs and gets fired.
Yeah. This weird boardroom with this weird board themselves that decides on 2D animated cartoon shows.
Right.
Yeah, and he's totally unprepared.
Yeah. So Tim's sad and his wife's worried. They leave each other voice messages. Then Tim and Alvy bond for a while. He's like, hey, maybe being a dad is more than abusing my child.
Well, I thought of something funny. When Loki's going from each house, there was one where he's holding this baby up and he's looking, and we see the baby front, and he's really not a good looking baby. And so I immediately had the thought that made me laugh a long time that, like, His parents answered an ad for ugly babies. The casting call.
Oh God.
That's how they found those babies. They had to be in contrast with that bit of reality.
Those parents are just like, he's not a good
he's
looking.
weird looking.
He's not a good looking kid. Yeah.
He looks like TV's fish.
Yeah.
We're hoping he'll grow into his face.
Or stay ugly.
Yeah.
Money.
So then Otis, the dog, puts on the mask again. Loki sneaks into their house and summons Odin. He convinces him to give him his powers back for 1 hour, in which he has to find the mask. Tim wakes up and Loki tells him that he wants the mask back and that he has to bring it to an alley where they were
At this point, Loki told him to bring the mask in exactly 1 hour.
Yeah.
At which point his powers would be gone.
Yeah,
because it's already been like 5 minutes or something. Then he goes back and says, "Bring it to me within the hour."
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah, he's all over the place.
So, this completely ruined the movie then, Al. This time discrepancy.
I mean, it's argued that maybe Loki himself is the son of the mask.
Yeah. So
anyway,
so he takes Alvy with him as a hostage. Tanya arrives home. Tim attacks her viciously. Like, that's not a funny scene. That's rough.
No.
That was rough as fuck. This man just wailing on his wife.
Yeah.
Like,
they could have done that very differently.
Yeah, they could have.
Yeah.
And it went on. If it had been like a second and he like doesn't actually get her and
choking her and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. And
it's intense.
It was bad.
Especially when you think about the last time he wore it, he basically sexually assaulted her.
Yeah. Exactly.
She was home and asleep.
Yeah.
She didn't seem troubled, but he wasn't himself.
Yeah, he did not wake her up beforehand.
Right.
No.
Yep.
So he goes to Otis, convinces him to help get Alvy back. Otis gives him the mask. And
the dog date was cute.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it was fine. It was probably the cutest thing in the movie.
That saved the movie. That got it at 6%.
That took it from 0 to 6. Yeah. So meanwhile, Loki and the baby have some hijinks. Tim and Tanya arrive and are about to trade the mask for Alvy when Loki decides he wants to keep Alvy and double crosses them. Otis attacks Loki, and Tim ends up with the mask on. Loki flees with the baby, and Tim and Tanya give chase. There's a bunch of cartoon chase antics. They end up having a boxing match at a big boxing place.
Right, it looks like Madison Square Garden, but of course we're not in New York City.
When Tim first puts on the mask, he does a Mel Gibson impersonation from Ransom.
Oh, that's right.
I didn't understand it the first time, but he's walking towards Loki and he's like, "Hey, Loki," and then he pulls out a phone. He says, "Give me back my son," and then hangs up the phone.
I forgot that was actually a big movie like a year or two before.
Yeah.
They have a boxing match while Tanya frees Alvy from a cage. There's a big cartoon style battle between them. They're pretty evenly matched, so they decide to let Alvy decide who to go with.
The giant pencil was cool. That was redrawing. It was Loki himself. He turned himself into a giant pencil to redraw reality.
Yeah.
Yep. Chuck Jones style.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Tim takes off his mask and tells Alvy he loves him. So Alvy chooses his dad.
Loki's all, nah.
Yeah, Loki gets pissed and just decides to kill them all. They're about to die. Tim, at this point, uses the power of love to hold off the giant cartoon hammer.
Right. Yeah.
That's what Huey Lewis was talking about when he wrote The Power of Love.
That's what he was talking about. It don't take money. Don't take fame.
Don't take a credit card.
So
it takes a grown man-child turning into a man.
Yeah. So they're all about to die when the timer runs out. Odin shows up, and he and Loki have a big father-son blow-up. But Tim tells Odin that they need a better father-son relationship, and he gives the mask back. Loki and Odin make up and go home.
Yeah.
Why don't
The
we
way they
all go
talked
out and
about-
get some coffee?
Well, that's all. I tail it to Lollapalooza. The way he talked about Thor and all the Thor bullshit, it more sounded like Thor went to Princeton and like played football while he was in law school.
Right.
Like it didn't seem power based.
No, yeah.
Just a sibling rivalry.
So Tim gets his job back with the Cartoon Factory and makes a show about a baby and a dog fighting.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Who would have thought?
He needed supernatural help.
Sibling revelry,
Is what,
Yeah,
it, was
that's what it was
called.
called.
Yeah.
which,
or-
I
Nah.
guess. The interesting thing is it's
Yeah, go ahead.
three-dimensional.
Yeah, it was a 3D
It's-
cartoon. It was not.
Cell-shaded 3D, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Then
And the flip book that he made for his wife, I don't know if he was apologizing or just telling her he loved her. That was pretty cute. And again, that was traditional animation.
yeah.
Yeah.
You could tell the difference, boy.
So then Tim finds out Tanya is pregnant again, and the movie ends as Alvy literally winks at the camera. Roll credits.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought he was
And
going to say,
big-
that's all, folks.
Never sleep the same again.
And Big Head Otis cuts the film reel.
Oh, that's
that's
right. Yeah.
With giant scissors.
Big Head Otis
And the monster. Yeah.
Because a reminder from when we watched The Mask, in the comic books, the character was normally referred to as Big Head.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
They never directly called him The Mask. As in this, they never called anyone The Mask.
Which is smart, yeah.
Daniel Moss, when he was talking to Tim after the party, he said, like, I really liked that green guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so.
Right. And he
Anyway.
needed to put that mask on again to, I don't know. So weird. I liked that green guy. Yeah, he's a new thing I'm coming up with. And then you think about things, you come up with them. He's like, no,
Right.
I've got to be that guy again to even have
Even,
an
yeah.
imagination.
Yeah, I'm terrible at my job.
Yeah, for 10 years.
Yeah.
It's like, that's why your dream never happened.
That's why you're in a tortoise outfit.
Because you're
Yeah, you
just
fucking-
you're totally the tortoise guy. You are not the writer. So
And somehow Chad's in a rivalry with the turtle guy at work.
Chad the executive, it seems like.
Right. Anything Chad does is already better than turtle guy.
Yeah, Chad is the unsung hero of this movie. Chad.
And we don't. And actually, yeah, Cal Penn, Jorge, I don't know what his job is. We see him in a mocap suit several times, but we don't see him animating or drawing. So they
Well, I think he's just a
hired this
mocap.
He's just a mocap guy.
He's just a body worker. What do you call that?
A
Woman of the
prostitute.
night. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a few unanswered questions. One, how did Odin know a baby was born of the mask?
Magic and shit, man.
Yeah, magic and
Odin's
shit.
Odin
He's-
Force.
He
Okay.
just felt it.
Okay, so
No, the all-seeing eye of Odin.
Yeah, the eye
Okay.
patch.
okay, so
That's right. Yeah.
then how was it that Loki learned where and when this baby was born, but could not narrow it down to which baby? Where did he get the
Right.
information of where and when? So if Odin saw it with his all-seeing eye and told Loki, how was it not precise enough then to just say which baby
Right,
it
why
was, or
didn't
follow
Odin-
the magic of the masks through some sort of
Right.
magic
Why
tree?
wouldn't Odin know that?
Because it
well?
was buried under the ground by the time he got hip to it.
But the baby's still.
I mean, they explain how Loki got to that conclusion, but you're right. Why wouldn't Odin also know
Well,
that?
no. How did Loki get to that conclusion? We don't know
Because
how.
he did the math. No, he said it had to have been born between to do that many days or months, however. When he's at the nurse's station, doesn't he do the formula there?
Well, no, but how did he get to that hospital in the first place? How do you know it was there?
How do you know it was in Fringe City?
Yeah.
Maybe this is like a ring world in space somewhere. Maybe it's not on Earth. Maybe there's just not a lot of places to go.
Maybe there's only 2 cities.
Yeah, this is a post-apocalyptic
Fridge.
world.
And they're both named synonyms.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question. Why wouldn't he also know that?
Yeah.
I'm just going to say ravens because Odin is involved.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the mask itself can sense horniness. Maybe Odin can sense.
Well, I mean, to be fair, there's a lot of stuff and people that can sense horniness.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Why is it sometimes kind of like the 50s?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
They spent a lot of money on production design. That's what I mean. I mean, nothing was arbitrary in these sets. They did all the houses and everything look like Toontown at Disneyland.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Asgard.
they built all that shit.
Asgard is like the size of maybe a small strip mall or office building.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Floating in
space.
Flipped JCPenney.
Yeah.
This is where Asgard is.
It's right next to the Halloween store that opens up one month a year.
Yep.
Why, my final unanswered question, why would anybody hire Jamie Kennedy for a leading role?
Oh, I don't know. Well, like I said at the time, Scream he was good in, and that was popular. So yeah.
Yeah.
I think he was supposed to be the plucky. Oh, I just wrote it down. 96.
Oh, 96. Oh, okay, so this has been 8 years since then.
96. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I don't know to answer your question through him. I thought they thought he was going to be the next little plucky comedic sort of actor. I'm trying to think of somebody else.
John Leguizamo?
Yeah, that kind of thing.
John Leguizamo would have been infinitely better in this role.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sure. That dude.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, he's a real actor for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, Latino leading man.
No. We can't do that in 2005.
Jamie Kennedy, on the other hand, let's dump $100 million on this buffoon. And not in a good comedic way. Just
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Check
not
out that
good,
documentary
ever.
that he made, Heckler, because he talks about this movie, and it's
He managed to look unattractive in every single shot of him in this movie.
Even the ones
there was no point.
Yeah,
where he looked handsome or heroic or strapping when it would have made sense for him to look that way.
Well, and so often he was shot with like a fisheye lens, so he was all like nose and bulging eyes.
Yeah.
And it's not like they made him seem, like a bad guy or negative, but they didn't give him any redeeming qualities.
No.
Just a man-child.
Stan Leibkis was a fully fleshed out character.
Yeah,
he was boring.
Mask and becomes this alter ego that is, the id, like Ben Stein's saying in the beginning. This, dog puts it on, baby's born of it. Nobody really has anything you can get behind except maybe Loki. You're hoping he'll get the mask so he won't be in trouble with his dad.
Well, there's that. Okay, so
and maybe the wife because she wants a baby, and
Maybe
you're like
her,
worried about her baby getting
inoffensive. Yeah.
Well, I mean, up until the moment Loki decides to steal Alvi and to Welsh on the deal, up until that moment, he is 100% the most sympathetic character, except maybe the mom. At that point, then he instantly flips into a villain.
Well, and from a hero's journey perspective, he's the only character that does anything.
That's on an arc.
Yeah.
Well, Jamie Kennedy's just like drawing comics and then
failing.
No.
He learns to love his child. That's his journey. Right. He learns that your own children are worthy of love. Like, what the fuck?
That reminds me. I forgot to mention this because it was 2004, so of course this happened. That all happens during the course of Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Oh,
yeah, beautiful version.
Yeah, that's right.
Why do we have a musical montage of this father loving his child to that song? Like, father and son would have been much better. I can think.
Cats in the cradle and the
Oh, did
But Somewhere Over the Rainbow is a weird song to choose for that.
Did you guys notice there was a Randy Newman song in this movie?
Oh, was there?
Yeah.
Which one?
It was not one I recognized. It was just like, oh no, but no, this he's the mask. Like, I don't know.
When Otis was drawing the schematics for his evil plan, which I'm sorry, it was kind of funny. The Operation Bye Bye Baby Plan B, fiendishly diabolical version.
That's total Wile E. Coyote.
That's a cartoon trope. You have, because there's humor in the idea that the coyote took that much time to draw up the schematics only for himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, guys, are we ready to rank this thing?
It is ranked.
Go.
So
it really was bad. I know we say that a lot and we say it tongue in cheek, but this was really, really bad.
This was phenomenally terrible.
I felt uncomfortable the entire time watching it.
Yeah.
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 Absolutely.
Cringy.
So here's
not in a trauma cringy way.
No,
which is weird.
Yeah, right. An all new way.
An all new way with a baby.
So our bottom movie is Citizen Toxie, The Toxic Avenger 4.
Oh, you added the qualifications for what makes it.
I did, because there's been some discussion.
You thought I was going to challenge you. All right.
I thought it was good to codify it into law.
Just so you know. Yeah. It's like, yeah. That's the contract I signed. Yeah.
All right. So here's my question: Is this better or worse than Citizen Toxie, The Toxic Avenger 4?
I think it's worse. And that was pretty bad.
Oh, it was terrible.
Toxie 4 was bad because of the violence, I think.
Yeah, and
that was the discomfort in a lot of those scenes from the violence.
And it was unfun
and
violence.
The minorities, they were,
the racism.
And the mentally ill kind of stuff. But I think this is worse than that.
Yeah. I think that movie meant to offend and meant for us to
always.
Yeah. That's something.
The outcome.
Is that movie
cashing out?
This movie intended to be the hit follow-up to Jim Carrey's The Mask.
Yeah. These things were supposed to work.
Is this the biggest financial failure that we've done thus far? 100 million to 60? It's 40 million bucks in the can.
Might be. I'm not sure what the percentage was for Batman and Robin. That was definitely no. That one made money, just not very much. This might be
also made money on toys too.
This maybe Supergirl. Maybe Supergirl was a big flop. Howard the Duck, possibly.
Got 11. No, I love Howard the Duck.
Monetarily might have been a bigger flop.
Monetarily.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
I'm
like
fine
DVD
with this
sales, I think Howard the Duck has recouped a lot of its losses.
Yeah.
Yeah, this could be the last movie, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, same here.
Al, thoughts?
I'll allow it.
Al will allow it. All right, there is no argument. We are putting this, Son of the Mask, is the worst movie we have yet watched for this podcast.
It is. That's true. Hearing you say it, yes, it's true.
It is true.
It is true. It was bad.
This is the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Will it remain the worst movie? I don't know, because next week we're watching The Crow, Wicked Prayer.
Holy shit.
This is the worst
movie. The Crow
movie
should find the mask.
Out of what number?
What's that?
What is the number of movies that we've done now?
58.
Out of 58, Jamie Kennedy's Son of the Mask is the worst.
I'm not blaming it all on him.
No.
There's a lot of people in this movie I love, but yeah.
No, it was not Jamie Kennedy's fault, really, this movie.
Not at all.
You compare it to Toxie 4. Toxie was a superhero that fought bad guys and saved the day. This doesn't even get to claim that. So
yeah. How is this a superhero movie, Thoreau?
All right.
No, don't do that. No.
Josh is like, please no. Can we just stop?
Yeah, it just is.
We do have 6 rules and 4 asterisks of criteria attached to those 6 rules for a movie to qualify for this podcast.
A letter to my congressman about this.
I won't go into it per Josh's request.
No, you can. But so yeah.
All right. So I talked about this briefly in one of our very early episodes, Superman or Batman, somewhere around there. So the six different criteria, it has to meet at least 3 of them to be considered. So the property has a comic book origin, the protagonist has superpowers, the protagonist wears a costume or transforms into a superpowered being or has a secret identity.
Okay.
The protagonist engages in heroic deeds or fights evil. It's a sequel to a movie that was deemed a superhero movie. A direct sequel, that should read, actually. Or the protagonist assembled against Thanos, which is how we got Howard in. There's the 4 asterisks are no post-apocalyptic movies, so that's why we don't have Tank Girl. That's why we don't have Mad Max. Live action only, theatrically released, and super villain movies count too, which is how we're getting the Joker and Birds of Prey and all that stuff.
Right.
So
yeah. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know 3 out of 6. That's okay.
Yeah, right. It has to at least hit half of those because most of these movies don't hit all of them.
Well, and this movie failed, so it's not necessarily your criteria or what we do. This failed as a superhero movie, but I absolutely understand why it's there.
It is a superhero movie. It is just a terrible one.
It's just not my hero. Okay.
Well, no,
I just want to make that very clear.
It feels like the screenwriter forgot many times. I don't know if he was like mescaline or a nitrous tank nearby. I don't know what his thing was, but he kept forgetting he was writing a superhero movie.
It was a superhero movie for the last 15 minutes only. Really.
Yeah.
But just to save his kid.
Yeah.
Loki never threatened anybody. In fact, he was pretty low-key when he was in public.
I want to think that this is what happened.
In fact, it said Loki.
Pre-Marvel universe with Loki. This is one of Loki's many adventures that he went on.
Yeah.
Before Thor became the king of Asgard.
He did threaten to steal their child.
Well, he did attempt to steal their child.
Steal their child.
Yeah. At that point, he became the villain.
One child, the main character.
He became the undeniable villain at that point.
Yeah. I mean, arguably.
But it's kind of like if Darth Vader
didn't
do all the other stuff, he just was out to get his kids.
He mentioned that at one point because the child was born of the mask. So Loki was like, oh, that kind of makes me like a dad.
I mean, Zeus did have sex with a goose. And bear children.
Zeus had sex with everything.
Zeus was a goose that had sex with a moose.
That's what an Untitled Goose Game is about.
All right, we've ranked it.
Yeah, we've done it. We're done. Join us next week, everybody, for The Crow, Wicked Prayer, a movie that stars Edward Furlong and David Boreanaz. Thank you, everybody. Just saying those words was the most ridiculous thing I think I've said in weeks. Thank you all.
It'll be better than this.
Yeah, I will see. Yeah. Thank you all for listening. This has been Good Fake with Rose Smiley.
I'm Josh Cece, and I just had my first potty poop.
I'm Brian Lesh, and this movie is a smoking pile of shit.
I'm Alaric Weber, and I can run and apologize at the same time.
I've seen him do it.
I've seen him.
Thanks, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye guys.